So today we're going to look at this camcorder. I just had to do this. I spotted this on eBay. I think I paid £12 for it. And I thought we'd do a bit of a show and tell. Because when I was at Nottingham and in a radio club there, back in the day, there was a lady whose name was Mary. And this was the radio club, Carlton Road, Nottingham, which was all kinds of radio. It could be citizens band radio, it could be amateur radio, it could be marine radio, it was any, as long as you were licensed and you showed your license, well, there we are. So this has spent quite a time at the originator's parcel shop. I had to chase it, and the person who sold it to me went to the parcel shop and discovered they put it in the wrong pile and it had never been sent, which is what I guessed from the tracking. So it wasn't Everest's fault at all, it was the parcel shop in this case. So that got that sorted out. So it's the Amstrad Videomatic. Now these are VHS-C. I never was interested in VHS-C. I was only interested in Video 8 and subsequently High 8 because Video 8 is slimmed down Betamax. Betamax is slimmed down U-matic, which is a professional format. My video training was U-matic, so VHS was to me an also ran, but of course was more popular. Well, that's more down to sales thing. So the standard resolution on, if I remember my facts from my training years ago, resolution of VHS is 240 lines, vertical lines of resolution. Not talk about the horizontal lines that make up the 625 line picture. Talk about vertical lines on a test card, whereas Betamax is 250 lines. So 240 for VHS and 250 for U-matic, and we're talking about low band. Now if we move on to high band, like Super VHS and High 8, then you're talking about 400 and something lines, what they call near broadcast quality. So there we go, get a nice gift box, and we'll just move the camera. And the thing about the Videomatic VMC100, it's a record only camcorder and it doesn't do playback. And if I remember rightly, they are a lead acid battery. This isn't going to work. This is going to be a show and tell. But it's nice to get one with a box. Yeah, that's heavy enough to be. That's heavy enough to be lead acid. We've got the instruction book here, and that's again really nice to have. I think I've forgotten what the bidding was on this, but it was one of these. They hadn't sold it and they made me an offer and I bought it. Right. So you get something which, if we compare it with, what can we compare it to? I've got a Sanyo on here. I'll just move it across. Just eject its mains adapter. Oh no, it's a Sony one, this. That was on here. So if we compare this Sony Video 8 machine, it's a bit similar kind of size. I think these were made by Orion for Amstrad. The Amstrad video recorder, the V7000, VCR 7000 was absolutely lovely. A top loading machine made by Orion, really, really nice. Also available as the Hinara VXL2 and the Seisho VR 705. They then did a front loader, the VR 805, the Seisho VR 805, which was the Hinara VXL3, and that was fine as well. And then there are a lot of the videos were made by Funai for for Amstrad, and yeah, right. But there we are. Let's see what it says on the back. You obviously would have it in standard play, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have it in long play. Come on, admit it, you wouldn't. White balance. There we go. I presume that's record. So I know we went on a trip. We went to, it was a mystery tour, a mystery coach tour. And we went to where they filmed Last of the Summer Wine, Holmesfield. And she had this camcorder, and I think the results were as disappointing as we expected. Let's see what happens. So what does the battery say? It didn't feel lead acid. Could be nickel cadmium. Let's get the meter on it. Yeah, we're at 0.5 of a volt. I don't think we're going to get any results. I wonder what date this is. Sometimes you're going to get a date code in the instruction book. I'm going to guess it's got to be like 1990. So what we're supposed to have, we're supposed to have the machine, the battery, shoulder strap, the adapter. Now we haven't got the cassette adapter, that doesn't matter because they're available, but I don't have one, so we certainly can't watch it. This instruction book and power supply cable. So it's not like I can show you on a viewfinder because you can't plug anything in. It reminds me of doing the, what about those of you who remember the Beta movie? That was a record only one. So you couldn't see any of the footage till you got home. So what we've got here, we've got a VGA adapter, which surely is nothing whatsoever to do with this. What on earth's that for? We've got another kind of adapter. We've got a phono adapter. That looks like a Sony i8 adapter. So all kinds of adapters. So we've also got an RF lead by the looks of it. We've got a high band lead for S video, which has nothing to do with this whatsoever. And we've got a box for a VHS-C 30-minute tape. What I'm just wondering, because it's got a DC input jack, says DC in, doesn't say how many volts. Yes, you can plug it to the power supply. We'll have to make a lead up for that. And it tells us it's negative center. So, wasn't expecting that. So we haven't got the interconnecting lead, we'll have to make one. I'll have to get a tape, and I'll have to get one of those VHS adapters. So I'm glad you can run it from the power supply. I'm just going to pause this video because we were given an American VHS-C camcorder by a viewer, which doesn't work, and it might have come with a tape. So just one moment. So the good news is we've got some tapes. Panasonic one, a Sony one, which is ironic when they didn't do VHS-C, another Panasonic one, another Sony one. So I know they've got no footage on them. There's an empty box for an adapter. I'll just go and see if it's in our video recorder. Yes, so there we are. That's the adapter. Is it a mechanical one, this? Yes, it's a mechanical one, so you unload it. And there goes the tape. So it gets swallowed into there. Lid down. Manually load it. Now the one that came with this Amstrad originally was a motorised one. So there you go. So that's ready to go into a VHS player, which we've got here. But there's no point showing you because it's a blank tape. So what we need to do is, of course, build that lead up, get some power on that, and see if we can take some footage. Right, so I've made myself a lead up. So we're plugged into the charger there, and we're plugged into the camera here, and just like it says, made sure it's centre for positive, sorry, centre for negative, powered it up. We've got the low light up. Well, it must be doing something. Now I've ejected a tape which was already in it, and it says Betty's mum on it, so I don't want to erase that because I know the tapes I've got here have been blanked. So I'll tell you what, we'll use this one. And we'll put that in. This is a very clean machine. There wasn't a record about a clean machine. Okay, so it says low light, and I know these need a lot more light than modern machines. So we've just got a straight through viewfinder. I'm going to go into record. I'm just going to hand hold it, and what we'll do, I don't think they have zoom, do they? No, I don't think they do. You've got a straight through viewfinder, it's not an electronic viewfinder, so it's just looking through that. Well, low light's gone if I point it against the white of the table, but we'll just put it against the organ in here, and I'll record for a few seconds. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Testing the Amstrad VMC100. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. This is a test. Testing the Amstrad VMC100. I'll tell you what, folks, there's not been any malfunctions. It's gone back into standby. So made sure it was in standard play. So we can't rewind it or anything inside the machine. So we'll eject that. I mean, it all looks pristine in there. So we'll put it into this adapter. And I'll move this camcorder over to our VHS video player. So just to prove the setup, we've got the James Bond film playing from the VHS video recorder down there, which is a Sony. What we're going to do, we'll swap that for the adapter and see what happens. It'll be a right laugh if it works, won't it? -30, it might not have been at the beginning. Yeah, right. Well, that's work in progress, isn't it? Out of interest, what's on that other tape which says Betty? I love watching other people's tapes. So this is going to surely have been recorded about time when this was new, so it's going to be about 1990. So as I record this in 2025, this tape's going to be 35 years old when this was made. This TV monitor should be set up for 4 to 4.3 ratio. It's obviously not supposed to be widescreen. Well, this is the first time I've seen any VHS-C footage, because everything we've done has always been video 8. I've got a Hitachi full-size VHS camcorder. I'm sure if we did a transfer directed, it would probably be a worse picture. Right, well there we are. So you've seen me try and use it. Obviously there's a malfunction. What I'm just going to do, just before we give up, is I'll clean the heads on it. You just never know, but it looks a bit capacitorish to me. I won't show any kids. Okay, so what I've now done is to just film the screen we're looking at now on the other camera, on the VMC100, having cleaned the heads, just in the off chance it's only heads and not a capacitor issue, which is what I think it is. So it's a different tape. We'll just see what happens. So here we are testing the Amstrad VMC100, looking at the monitor showing footage which we got with the tape in the machine. Prove we're in here, there's the organ. Okay, so it has issues, doesn't it? Use a different tape than the one before. So that's about 20
So it's, I mean, that does look like duff capacitors to me.
Right, we'll go back to the Betty's tape. Think they were at a motocross thing. So once again, I'll take this out, unload, eject. The tape that says Betty's mum on it. It's a rubber dingy. Of course, any bars or interference on the picture is to do with having a camcorder in front of it. I can see in the viewfinder we're getting some patterning because of that. The picture is, apart from the odd dropout, is absolutely perfect, especially considering, and I'm sure it was recorded on the VMC100 because there's no zooming happening and the colours aren't, shall we say, as if it came from a high quality machine. Now these these Amstrad VMC100s were groundbreaking because they were £499.99 at a time when most camcorders were in the £899 category. So there we go. So we'll leave it at that, and I'll just go back to the camcorder. Oh, it's a nice bit of video this. I'll sit down and watch it with a cup of tea. Did you notice the sky was a bit red? And that's pretty typical. There was a Ferguson used the same Orion chassis. So there we go. Not quite working VMC100, but to tell you what, at least it's got some sound on it. So thanks for watching. We'll probably do something to it in the future, but we're concentrating on some Sony ones at the moment, some of the DVD based ones. The VMC100 from around 1990.